I'm Nigel Jones, coming up to 4.5 years for me when I stopped drinking in December 2020 and just absolutely loving life. It's just great. The best thing I ever did. I often say that line, which is the Mark Twain line, which is the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day that you found out why. And really, stopping drinking was my second birth. So I can spend like just 5, 10 minutes giving you what I went through in the first year of going alcohol free. I can summarize the secret that I followed to actually becoming alcohol free. I think what it comes down to, and I've analyzed this lots and I've put it into my book, Walking Back to Happiness, is really it's all about belief change and nothing else. I tried many times over a 35-year career of drinking alcohol to stop. And I had lots of day ones, thousands of day ones, but I never really got past day 2 or 3. I think I did day 6 twice in 35 years. So nothing to be proud of, but just really just couldn't get there. I hit a wall. The day that I went past day 6 and I went to day 12 and I went to 24 and all the way until now was because I changed my identity. I literally woke up on the morning of December the 8th and I decided, whether it was some God-given thing or wherever it came from, literally that was it. I'd had enough. And I really believed that I was now a non-drinker. It wasn't a real rock bottom, but it was like, I really need to change, because if I don't change, I'm probably not going to live another 10 years. I was 54 and I just thought, this is it. I want to see my grandchildren. I want to see my kids grow up. I want to have a healthy 50s and 60s and 70s. So my driving force was this new why that I'd got, which was literally, I really wanted to be healthy and be there for the ones I loved. And there's this famous saying, again, this is by Nietzsche, and it's, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. And it's so true that once you have that why and you have that driving force, which is your engine, you can really do anything you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. And for me, I just decided I am now a non-drinker. And the reasons why I'd failed before were because I'd never really changed my identity. I was still a drinker trying to become a non-drinker. And it just makes it so hard because you're fighting yourself. Your identity is drinker and your behavior is non-drinker. And it's just this battle that goes on with this huge willpower. It's this new you that's trying to become the dominant you. It just gets put down by the old you, which just won't change. The way I did it was literally say to myself, I am a non-drinker. I am now a non-drinker. And I might not have been 100% on day one, but I was definitely in the 90s. And that's what made the difference. I knew that I had to take on the values and the beliefs of being a non-drinker. So I just asked myself, what would a non-drinker do? What values do they have? I use the metaphor of the mountain. What I was doing before, when I was failing, was I was looking up at the mountain, thinking that non-drinking and alcohol-free was like at the summit. And I was way down at the bottom, and it was like this huge mountain. It was like Everest. I could not possibly ever get there because I'd created this massive journey or mountain or climb for me to get to my nirvana of alcohol freedom, when actually, if I put myself on top of the mountain immediately, I was there. And really, why couldn't I be there? The only reason that was holding me back was my beliefs. So I decided to change them. I know it sounds simple to say, but once you start saying it, it becomes reality. And it's now being proven through the work of quantum physics that what you think becomes your reality. And literally, if you start thinking, I am a non-drinker, I am this, whatever you want to be, I am a photographer, I am a hypnotherapist, I am a coach, I am an author, you start becoming it immediately because you've thought it. And then if you start doing it, it becomes your reality. So the thoughts become the feelings, become the reality. And it's true of anything. It's real basic psychology. So in a nutshell, the secret to alcohol-free living, I believe, is literally belief change. And what I'd like to do maybe in this session now is talk a bit about where this has led me on my path. It doesn't matter whether it's day one or day 2001. If you believe that you are a non-drinker, it doesn't matter because you are a non-drinker. That's the great thing about this. It is that easy to do. And what I learned having stopped drinking, I literally decided, being now this healthy new me with new values and new beliefs, that I just changed my value system. I wrote a book. I just didn't think I'd ever write a book. And all of a sudden there I'm writing a book on how to stop drinking. So I did that in year one. In year two, I trained to be a life coach. And then in year three, I went further and trained to be an NLP practitioner, which is, it stands for neuro linguistic programming, which is basically the science, how the programs that run our mind work. The best way to describe it is our brains are like supercomputers, but they don't come with a manual. So we're born with this really powerful piece of kit, but there's no instruction manual. Whereas NLP is an attempt to actually unravel how the mind works. And the N stands for the neuroscience, the neurological processes. The P is programming, because we all follow programs. 60% of, or even higher, of the things we do are programmed into us, into our subconscious mind. So when you wake up in the morning, you won't think about what you're doing. You'll step out of bed, you'll walk to the shower, have a shower, brush your teeth, whatever it is you do. And you're not even thinking about that stuff. It's just a program that's operating in the background of your subconscious mind. It's exactly the same with drinking alcohol. When you drink, you are following the program that I am a drinker. So what I do now with my clients is I literally help them understand that they're just following a program. And that program is based on limiting beliefs and the wrong beliefs that alcohol is good for you. And so literally, if you change the program, you basically change your life. Again, it's back to the equation: change your thoughts, you change your feelings, you change your behavior. And it's really basically that easy to do. And the last bit of the NLP is, sorry, the middle bit is language. And this is really important as well, because the language that we use on ourselves can change our lives. If there's umpteen voices going on in our heads, and some of them sometimes are saying, you're not enough, you're not good enough, you'll never achieve this, you won't be able to do that. Now that's just a voice that you've created. No one else can hear that voice. And what neuro-linguistic program does, it works on the programs, the voices, and the neuroscience in your brain to help you change who you are. And really, it's about changing your story. When you change your story, you change your life, basically. In year three, I then trained as a hypnotherapist, and that is not a hypnotist, it's a hypnotherapist, which is very different. So I'm not someone who stands on a stage and makes people forget numbers or their names. The best way to describe this is our minds are made up of a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. And I alluded earlier on to that, the fact that 60% of the things that we do are habitual or programs. Most of the things we do are programmed into us. What hypnotherapy allows you to do is actually move the conscious mind out of the way, which is the mind that's listening to me now, and actually go inside your subconscious mind and actually change the programs so you can live the life that you want to live. If it was a nightclub, there would be a bouncer on the door stopping like new stuff coming in. That's your conscious mind. With hypnotherapy, you relax your mind. The door person moves out of the way and you have access to all the programs that are inside. And so that's really what hypnotherapy is. It allows you to access your subconscious mind and change the programs that are running who you are. What I was thinking of doing is, if you're happy with it, if everyone's happy with it, is I could do like a 2 or 3 minute demonstration on hypnosis or hypnotherapy and show you what it's like. If anyone doesn't want to take part, I guess turn the volume off. It's entirely up to you. And the only people that can't take part in hypnotherapy are people who have epilepsy. So if you do have epilepsy or you're prone to that, then I would say don't take part. But it's only going to be a really mild hypnosis anyway, just to demonstrate what hypnotherapy is. So if you're all okay with that, I can start now. I'll give you a bit of preamble on this. When you're completely conscious, like you are now, your brain is working between 14 to 30 cycles per second. That's the speed at which it's processing information. When you go into a meditative state, when you calm down, you listen to the sound of your breath, or you're listening to the sound of birds in nature, you calm your mind to between 7 to 14 cycles per second. So you can see it's almost like halving and slowing your mind down. When you're fast asleep, you're between 0.5 and 3.5. And the hypnodial stage is just above sleep, but just below meditation. So that's all it is. It's literally slowing your mind down so your conscious mind moves out of the way and you're able to access your subconscious mind. Now, we pretty much go into hypnosis 30 to 40 times a day without even realizing it. Almost everybody, when they drive a car, is in a hypnotic state, because they'll get in the car and they'll drive to the supermarket or they'll drive the kids to school, and they're not remembering anything about, I have to put my foot on the clutch, I have to change the gear. They're literally in flow and their brain is slowed down to that 3 to 7. And sometimes you get here and you go, oh, I can't even remember getting here. I didn't even see anything on the way. And that's really what the hypnotic state is. It's literally where you slow so far down that you're literally in that state where you can talk to your subconscious mind. So what I'd like you to do is, if you can stand up just with your feet just apart, well, I'd like you to hold both your hands out like this. So they're flat, just like that. And then I'd like you to close your eyes and just relax and just listen to the sound of my voice. And just feel that relaxation moving down through your brow into your eyes and your cheeks and chin and neck. You just get more and more relaxed as you breathe in. And I wonder if you can imagine that in your left hand, there's a bucket, like with a handle on it, like a pail, like a bucket. And just hold it by squeezing your fist together. So you've got the handle of the bucket in your hand. And then I'd like you to imagine that bucket is half full of water. And it's quite heavy. And you can feel it pulling down, and it's not too uncomfortable. The longer you hold it, the heavier and heavier it will become. And I wonder if in the other hand, you can imagine that tied around your wrist are some helium balloons. And there's about 10 of them on there. And they're quite big ones. The sort of ones at the fairground, maybe with a clown holding. And they're really light. And they're starting to pull your right hand up towards the ceiling because it's so light. And they're just pulling up because they just want to rise and rise and rise. And it's difficult to keep your hand down because those balloons are very light and they're just going up. And then returning to the left hand, I'm going to now pour some more water into that bucket. So I top it right up to the top. So it's full up. And now you can really feel it getting heavier and heavier. And it's quite hard to keep it up straight. It's pulling and pulling down. And on the other hand, back on the right, I'm going to add another 10 balloons. And that's really now pulling that right hand up and up. Now, in a moment, and only when I say, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. And when I do, I want you to open your eyes and I want you to keep your hands exactly where they are. 3, 2, 1, open your eyes. Right now, who's got their arms really far apart? And has everyone got like a difference between their hands where they are? It's nothing more than that. But what you've done is you actually believed that there was a heavy bucket in one hand and some 20 light balloons in the other, which pulled your arm up. You actually did that. They weren't there. So when you go into hypnotherapy, you can start asking your subconscious mind to do things, and it will do them. And it will actually change the programs that actually work in your subconscious mind. So that's just a simple example of how susceptible you are as an individual to being hypnotized. So you can actually go into a hypnotherapy session. So if you did have a gap between your hands, then you are susceptible, and it would be very easy for you to go into trance to have hypnotherapy. So that's just called the balloon and bucket exercise, just to see if you're susceptible to hypnotherapy. 99.9% of people are. One of the biggest tools that we use in helping people change habits or change their story or who they are or what they want to be is by what is called a timeline visualization. And this means, very simply, when you visualize a new future for yourself, which could be, I'm on top of the mountain, I'm a non-drinker, I've changed, I have a new identity. It's something normally that is in the future. So it's really key to think that if I can go to the future, I can create a memory of what I look like in the future. And then I can bring that back now to who I am today. And once you've got that visualization and you really believe that it has happened because you've been to the future and you've seen what you're like, it makes everything really straightforward to change your identity. So what I can do now is we can do like a 5-minute exercise, which is called a future timeline travel. I can see that you're all ranging from 23 days to some over 6 years. But what I'd like you to do is, in a moment, I'll ask you to think about where you see yourself in 1 year's time in terms of being alcohol free. So that's where we're going to go. I'd like you to all close your eyes. And I'd like you to imagine that you're leaving your body and floating up into the sky. So your mind leaves your body and it goes up into the room, out through the ceiling, into the sky above your house, way above where you are. And you can look down and you can see yourself sitting there today on the 24th of May. And I wonder if you can look ahead to your future, to 1 year from now, and point to it. And then when you're ready, just simply float along that timeline to 1 year from now. Just slowly float along 1 year from now. When you're there, just take time to look down and see yourself on the 24th of May, 2026. And I want you to imagine that the last year has been the best year of your life. You've carried on your alcohol-free journey. You've now got another 365 days under your belt. I'd like you to imagine or look at yourself there 1 year from now. What do you look like? Who are you with? What are you wearing? What are your emotions like? Think about how happy you are and who you're with, and your friends and family congratulating you on another year done. And everything you've achieved in that year as well. Just take that moment to see yourself, because this is you. This happened. You achieved this. Just look what you look like and feel it. Feel what you look like. Feel the feelings you feel. Feel the happiness, the joy, the pride, the confidence, the support you're giving others, the help you're giving others, the knowledge that you've gained. Just look at yourself then and listen to what you can hear. Turn the volume up. Turn it right. and make those emotions bigger and bigger, and that feeling of happiness just running through your body. The best year of your life. Just let it all absorb into you. Let it run through you. And then very gently, I'd like you to squeeze together on either hand, right or left, your thumb and your finger, your index finger, just gently, and just anchor this moment. Anchor the sounds, the visuals, the feelings, who you are a year from now. And then slowly turn around and just glide back along your timeline until you reach today, May the 24th, 2025. And keeping your thumb and finger squeezed together, gently float back down through the sky, through the clouds, through your house, into your seat, into your body, into your seat. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and release your thumb and finger. So now every time you squeeze your thumb and finger together, that emotion and that feeling will come back to you. Things are only memories. So now you have a memory of you going another year alcohol free. You've actually done it. So there's no fear or anxiety of not doing another year because you've done it. And so by squeezing the thumb and finger, that memory becomes very powerful. And take a moment, take a couple of minutes, 5 minutes to just sit there with the thumb and finger squeezed and just relive what 12 months from now was like. And every time you recall the memory, it gets stronger and stronger.